Hi, I'm Paige, and I'm doing the mid-year freakout tech. Question number 1 is, what is the best book that you've read so far this year? And I think I have to go with The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. Every time I look at this book, it just makes me so happy. I've read a lot of good books. I've been catching up on so many good books this year. But this one, I read it and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with these characters. The kids in this story are some of the cutest things ever. I am a teacher, so I am just predisposed to love kids, and this one has some of the cutest ones I've ever seen. I saw a lot of my students in them, and just a group of characters that need love and find their own family together, and I absolutely love this story. Every time I talk to my friends about this book, I try and tell them that it's a little bit like Ministry of Magic from Harry Potter, that like kookiness and also a series of unfortunate events, like that type of humor, all in just one story. I think it's a really good story. It follows Linus, who is overlooking monster orphanages, and it's just a really fun time. I recommend it to pretty much everyone. I love seeing it on my shelf. It just brings a huge smile to my face. Number 2 is best sequel you've read so far, and I think I have to go with Percy Jackson, The Sea of Monsters. I think that this is like an opposite opinion to most people, but when I read this sequel, I loved it. I soared through it in about 5 hours maybe. I could not put it down. I fell in love with the storyline, and meeting Tyson was the best thing ever. I love that character with my whole heart. I could not stop reading this story, and every time Tyson was in the scene, I had the hugest smile on my face because he is the sweetest, most precious thing in the world. I really love this. I picked up Percy Jackson for the first time this year, so I read all of 5 of them within 2 weeks, and I think this one is my favorite. People say it's the weakest one, but I really disagree. I thought it was so funny, super fast paced. I do agree that it follows the same storyline as the first 3, where they go on an adventure, they meet a new foe like every chapter, but it was still really fun. And just, if you don't love Tyson, I can't get along with you because he is so precious. So definitely this one. Number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet. And when I was looking at my shelf, most books are from a couple years ago because I'm trying to catch up on all the books that I've missed. And the only one that is from 2020 is Most Likely by Sarah Watson. I don't really know what it's about besides it follows 4 girls. You know that one of them is meant to become president someday, and all of them could be president is what I've heard about it. I haven't read the synopsis of it. I just picked it up because I thought that sounded like a really good summary. So yeah, I would have to say this one by default because it's the only one from this year that I have on my shelf. Number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and I think I have to go with the Extraordinaries from TJ Klune. It's the only book that I know of coming out. I am still, like I said, trying to catch up on books, but I love TJ Klune's writing so far. He is a new author to me, which I'll talk about later, but I had to pre-order it the second I saw it pop up. It's about like fandom culture and stuff, and that is right up my alley, so that is what I'm most excited for. Number 5 is biggest disappointment, and I'm going to have to go with Autoboyography by Cristina Lauren. I thought this book was going to be a 5-star for me. It started off super strong. I really loved the characters, and I thought it was going to be something that I absolutely loved. And then towards the end, a certain plot point happened that I cannot get over. I am still angry about it to this day, and it has ruined the book for me. I think I've dropped it down to maybe 2 or 1 stars because of that one singular event that happens. I think it was so pointless that they threw it in to the story, and I can't get over it. I might make a video about some books that have made me angry on certain choices that the authors make. So if you want to see that, let me know. But this one, I thought this was going to be so good. No, I am very disappointed in this one. Number 6 is Biggest Surprise, and I'm going to have to go with The Inexplicable Logic of My Life by Benjamin Alire Saenz. I didn't want to pick this one up. It was on my shelf for the longest time, and after I read Aristotle and Dante, I was kind of disappointed in that one. It was still good, but I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. So this one kind of put me off. I was thinking it was going to be along the same lines, and in ways it is. His writing between that story and this story are very similar, but this one, the character relationships are everything. They are so good. I cried so much through this book, but I mean, I do cry over most books, but this one has such strong familial bonds and friendship bonds, and I would say it's a bit like John Green story meets Perks of Being a Wallflower type of, the people in the story have like weirdly pretentious conversations that I've never met anyone to actually have conversations like that, but it still didn't deter me from liking the overall message of the story, and just the family aspect of it was so incredible, and I really, really loved it. It took me by surprise. I didn't think I would like it this much, but whew. Number 7 is favorite new author, and I think I'm gonna have to go with TJ Klune. He is a new to me author this year. I picked up his book Wolf Song and read that one, sobbed my way through, and then I picked up House in the Cerulean Sea. Had no idea it was written by the same person until I started reading, and I fell in love with that one too. His writing style is super different in both of them, but they are so good, so emotional. I love the relationships that he writes. I think that the way that he tells a story is just so good, and I can't wait to read as much of his work as I can. Number 8 is newest fictional crush, and I had to think about this one for a while because I don't feel like I've had a lot of fictional crushes on the books that I've read, but when I thought back on it, I realized I do have one fictional crush, and that is Gray from A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer? I'm not sure. There's a lot of ERs on that ending, so not positive on the pronunciation, but I really like Gray in this story. In A Curse of Dark and Lonely, I really did like him. We didn't get a lot from his perspective, but in this one, I really enjoyed how loyal he is, how much right he wants to do. He just seems like a very upstanding man, so I would have to go with him for my fictional crush. Number 9 is newest favorite character, and I will have to go with Monty from The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This was the first book that I picked up. This was my very first book of the year after not reading for 5 years. So I'm so glad that this was the one because I loved this story. It was so good. It's up there in my favorites now. It follows Monty, Felicity, and Percy as they go on like a tour, and then crazy shenanigans happen. It's set in 1700s, I think. And I love Monty. His point of view is so funny. There are few books that make me laugh. I cry over everything, but not many make me laugh. And this one, I was laughing so much. I just think he is so funny. He's such like an unlikable, lovable character, if that makes any sense. He just makes so many dumb choices. He does some really dumb things, but he is super likable, and he loves his family in such an odd way. Like, he's not very good with emotions, but he does love the people around him. So I found him so enjoyable. I could not stop reading this, and I wish that there was more books in his perspective. And him and Percy, ooh, love them. Question number 10 is books that made you cry. And I've read about 50 something books this year so far, and if I had to list all that made me cry, we would be here for about 40 plus books. So I'm just going to go with the one that made me cry the hardest, and that is Wolf Song by TJ Klune. This one came out of nowhere and hit me in the feels, and it just stuck with me. I think it's probably become my favorite book of all time, but it's one that I want to like protect. I don't want people to not like it because it feels like it's written for me. Like, there's something about it that just like resonated with me the entire way through. I cried through it, from happy tears, from sad tears, from funny tears. It was just a book that I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why I loved it so much, but I do. It follows Ox throughout his life as he meets the Bennett family and figures out why they're a little bit different, and he's a lonely character as it is, so he feels instantly connected with these people, and he goes on a journey with them, and it's about like friendship and falling in love and heartbreak and grief, and it has so much in it, and I absolutely love it. I've continued on with the series so far, and I'm still loving it. So I would have to say this one is the one that made me cry the most. Number 11 is a book that made you happy. And there's so many. So I am just going to go with Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Whew. I think I just said that like 14 times trying to get that right. My friend told me to read it because everyone's happy, everyone's in love, nothing really bad happens. And I agree with that. It was just a really happy, light read. I read it in a couple of hours. was everything he said that it would be, and it just made me happy. I didn't feel very angsty in this one, even though like a little bump in the road happens, but nothing major. It's just a really happy, good story if you're just feeling something fluffy. Number 12 is the most beautiful book you've bought this year. And I'm gonna have to go with House in the Cerulean Sea again. I love blue. Blue is my favorite color. Anything cool tone is right up my alley. I don't like books that have reds, yellows, oranges. Not my thing. So this one, I keep it displayed right behind me, right there, because it is so pretty. I look at it and smile, mostly because of the story, but like, this cover is beautiful. I love it. So this is the most beautiful one. Last question, number 13. What books do you still have to read by the end of the year? I have a TBR shelf that I can go over in a different video, but there are so many that I haven't read over the past few years. Some like Strange the Dreamer, Laini Taylor, The Six of Crows duology from Leigh Bardugo, A Court of Thorns and Roses, Sarah J. Maas, Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen, Skyward, Brandon Sanderson, and so many more. I have to catch up on so many books. So that's what I'll be doing the next half of the year, hopefully catching up on all the books that people love, or at least starting some of them. That's it for the mid-year freakout tag. I really hope you liked this. I want to say thank you to everyone who's already commented and welcomed me to the community. It is the sweetest thing. It makes my heart so happy to know that people are so welcoming, and it's making me way less nervous to start this channel and continue on making videos. I am really excited to see where everyone is going with their videos, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Shiny am I? It is 1,000,000 degrees. Do not turn your AC off in Arizona. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. The amount of times I've tried to say this is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is a tongue twister. Trying to say the title and her name is impossible. But this book